At Kansas Insurance, we know one size doesn't fit all. In fact, our whole mindset is based on customized policies for you and your families. We're local, and we do what we do because we care about you. Think of us as brokers for your insurance needs. Working with Kansas Insurance gets you the award-winning service and attention to detail that only an independent agency can provide. All across Kansas, we're here to help you manage and plan for all types of risk. Contact a local agent today. Kansas Insurance. Local, independent, serving you.
Just like the Cardinals are striving for success, Kaw Valley State Bank's mission is your success. At Kaw Valley State Bank, they provide the best, most efficient, courteous, and professional banking services possible. And at Kaw Valley, they recognize that the customer and their satisfaction is the most important ingredient to growing their community. With all the services you've come to expect from the hometown partner you deserve, Kaw Valley State Bank, online at kvsb.com, a proud supporter of Eudora Schools.
High-quality foods, friendly service, great prices, and a connection to the community that is unsurpassed. That's Jean's Heartland Foods in Eudora. Family-owned, Jean's Heartland Foods offers a convenient one-stop shop, delivering the everyday essentials you need to specialty items from around the world. Jean's friendly staff is here to help you find exactly what you're looking for. You have options when it comes to feeding your family. Choose to support local. Choose Jean's Heartland Foods, 1402 Church Street in Eudora, or online at heartlandfoodstores.com. Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com. The MVPs of BBQ. That's Barbed Wire Barbecue in Eudora. Family owned and operated, Barbed Wire Barbecue delivers great food and small town hospitality at a valued price. High quality hickory smoked meats, house seasonings, and time tested recipes put Barbed Wire Barbecue a cut above the rest. Kick off your weekend with their delicious brunch on Saturdays and Sundays and enjoy game day your way with Barbed Wire Game Day Packs. Visit them at 601 East 10th in Eudora or see their full lineup of flavors at barbedwirebarbecue.com.
Hey, I'm Mike Rowe, here today to encourage you to connect with 811 before you dig.
And I'm Mike Rowe, and I'm here because I love to dig in the dirt.
It's true. He's also here because he's very small and not that bright.
Here, for instance, we can see Mike Rowe doing what he loves to do.
And here we can see the consequences of not doing what he should have done. Dude, why didn't you call 811?
I forgot the number.
See? Not that bright.
How do you see the world?
Ha! At Shriners Hospitals for Children, we know that changing how you see things can turn them into everyday miracles.
Like riding my bike.
Breaking boards. Ha! Hugging my mom.
Every day for over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has been sending love to the rescue, regardless of a family's ability to pay.
If you know a child we can help, call or go online now.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the Drug Facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the Drug Facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drugfactslabel. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
I used to drive an ambulance as an EMT, and I've always tried to be a safe driver. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. In my car, if I see a truck or bus taking a turn, I know to take my time. When big vehicles turn right, they may swing wide to make the turn. If you try to sneak in, well, it's a lesson you'd rather not learn the hard way. When trucks and buses turn, let's you and I wait. It's our roads, it's our safety.
The MVPs of BBQ. That's Barbed Wire Barbecue in Eudora. Family owned and operated, Barbed Wire Barbecue delivers great food and small town hospitality at a valued price. High quality hickory smoked meats, house seasonings, and time tested recipes put Barbed Wire Barbecue a cut above the rest. Kick off your weekend with our delicious brunch on Saturdays and Sundays and enjoy game day your way with Barbed Wire Game Day Packs. Visit them at 601 East 10th in Eudora or see their full lineup of flavors at barbedwirebarbecue.com.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome in here back to Eudora Cardinal Stadium, here Eudora District Stadium here in Eudora. It's been a while, got to get the name right because it's a little bit rusty here. It's been a bit since we've gotten to call a game here at the beautiful Cardinal Stadium here in Eudora, and it will be ladies soccer here today as the Cardinals take on the Wildcats from Louisburg. It's a really big game here with some big implications within the Frontier League and just a great matchup all around for all kinds of different reasons. And so we will get going here on the pregame show. You've got Reed McAvoy and Hayden Harves with you on the call on the Kaw Valley State Bank pregame show. They're not just your bank, they're your neighbors. Kaw Valley State Bank is proud to serve the Eudora community and is proud to support Cardinal athletics. For more information, you can visit their website, kawvalleystatebank.com. So looking at the teams coming in here, some pretty even records. Both teams have won 7 games on the year. The Wildcats have won their last 3. The Cardinals have not lost since the 7th of April. They've won 5 and drawn 2 since that mercy rule defeat against Gardner Edgerton. So they really met their match and then some in their most recent defeat. And their only other defeat this season, their 7-2, was a 7-0 loss. So the 2 times that they've been beaten thoroughly. But generally, they have been a very dominant team. They started off the year with a mercy rule victory over Paola, and they've been on a streak of wins. They have a couple draws, one with Bonner Springs and one with Leavenworth. But in general, they have just been very dominant. The win over Lansing, a 4-3 win, was a last-second, literally the last second of the game, goal from Cambria Kerr. But she is absent here today, as she has been since April 15th in the game against Bonner Springs with a knee injury. It seems like it could potentially take away the remainder of her sophomore season, depending on what the extent of that injury. She's a phenomenal player for the Cardinals, has 9 goals and 3 assists in the 8 games that she's played, and she was just as effective last year in her freshman season. She can play all over the park, but they are without her once again here today. And interestingly, another absence from the starting lineup is Jaden Brooks, who has started every game thus far this season for the Cardinals. Not sure if that's an injury or what the reason is that she is not starting. We'll see if she gets into the game as a sub. In her senior year, she has 8 goals and 2 assists, has been a real leader for the team. So an interesting absence in the starting lineup. There have been a lot of different lineup changes for Coach Earp throughout this season. And they're announcing the starting lineups, which we will bring to you ourselves. We can go ahead and listen into the PA here just for a moment.
Number 12, senior J.D. Vince. Number 13, junior, Mina Burko. Number 16, junior, Lila Edwards. Number 20, freshman, Kaylin Harris. Number 23, freshman, Cora Roush. Number 27, junior, Faith Sewell. And in goal for Louisburg, number 0, senior, Allison Brown. Head coach for Louisburg is Jordan Rockmore, assistant coach Lily McDaniel. And now let's give it up for your starters for Eudora. Number 2, senior Brett Hayden. Number 3, freshman Caden Marino. Number 12, sophomore Evie Steele. Number 14, senior Elizabeth Fisher. Number 16, freshman Lucy Pratt. Number 18, freshman William Moody. Number 20, freshman Ava Haynes. Number 28, junior Kennedy Stottleman. Number 40, freshman Kylie Bourne. Number 55, sophomore Peyton Chappelle. And in goal for Eudora, number 8, junior Abby Bader. Head coach for Eudora, Darren Erpeldine. Assistant coaches Sarah Werrick and Peyton Walton. At this time, please rise for the playing of our national anthem.
We are only a few minutes away from kickoff now here. Nice weather, 75 degrees here in Eudora. Definitely a good, nice game temperature. Might even be a little bit hot. And there were some storms in the forecast, but it seems like they have gone away. So we should hopefully play 80 minutes of uninterrupted soccer. Hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood. I will be very interested to see the way that Louisburg line up. They've typically lined up in a 4-2-3-1 this season, which is pretty abnormal at the high school level. You just see so many teams run the standard 4-3-3, but Louisburg like to have it different here. They're under their first-year head coach, Jordan Rockmore, who has guided his team to a 7-2 record thus far. But there are quite a few forwards in the starting lineup today, so we'll see what formation they truly come out in. And, of course, we will see the same for the Cardinals. Abby Fager gets the start in goal, her 11th start this season. She has kept 3 clean sheets. On the other side for Louisburg, Allison Brown is the goalie. She has kept 6 clean sheets this season, started every game. Interesting note on her, this is her first season and first time ever playing goalkeeper. She hadn't, before the first game of this season, ever played in between the sticks, but she has kept 6 clean sheets. She's had a phenomenal year back in goal, and in fact, she has scored a goal. In their most recent game over Chanute, it was an 8-0 victory, mercy rule win. By the time they had the 7-0 lead, the team all decided collectively they wanted to get their teammate a goal. And so coach put her up at striker, and they were able to set up a tap-in goal for her to get the first goal of her career. So she's both, the first time that she started in goal is the first time this season, and she's also got her first ever high school goal in their most recent match, which was an 8-0 mercy rule win over Chanute. And looking here, taking an early look at the Louisburg formation, looks like they might be running a 4-3-3. We'll see how it plays out as time goes on. Whatever they play, they love to let their defenders push forward, especially Roush. Cora Roush is one that tends to push forward, and Faith Sewell, a defender who has 4 goals this year. A couple of them are free kicks, but they like to let their defenders push forward in the formation, provide support to the lone striker, Bailey Johnson. And Bailey Johnson here in her senior year has 6 goals, but their leading goal scorer is their senior midfielder, Rowan Yos, who has 11 goals this season to go along with 5 assists. She has been a phenomenal force for them this year. Last year, Yos had 12 goals and 17 assists, earned first team All-League. And Coach Rockmore said he expects even better from her this year. Feels like she's in the best shape that she's ever been in, and already has 11 goals out of her this season. Eudora under a little bit of pressure here. Moving the ball well. This one sent looking for Kylie Bourne. She won't be able to catch up to that one. She is a very speedy forward, though. The freshman making her 7th start on the year. She has 4 goals and 3 assists. And without Cambria Kerr, she will be a central focus for their offense. And she has been, regardless, but especially without Kerr. It does appear that Louisburg may be running a 4-3-3. They've tended to stand by their 4-2-3-1, but they did in the game against Tonganoxie opt for a different formation in order to try and shut down Loving, who's a phenomenal player for the Chieftains. Loving still got a goal in that game by way of a free kick, but the Wildcats did come out with the win. Maybe there's something in the scouting report that says that they want to have wingers today, as they've got the 4-3-3 formation running. A beautiful 1-2 here puts Yos through. Yos looking for a cross, sends it in with the left foot. A shot on goal and a save. A great save there by Abby Fager. That was a big chance here early on in this game, and Fager got a foot to it to keep it out.
That was really, really good job to keep that one out. If they're able to get that goal early on here, putting themselves in really good position for the Wildcats. And you talked about those formations a little bit, as of why we wonder where that switch up is coming from. You've said they've been really comfortable running a formation that, all things considered, is kind of rare to see at this high school level. You do wonder if maybe
but they've opted for the more standard, the 4-3-3 today.
With maybe this prolific Cards team showing a little bit of respect to that, as you said, having those wingers in the formation now. It will be interesting to see how that plays out, as you said, this has not been their identity largely this season. It's been fairly rare that they've chose to opt for that 4-3-3, but today it is what we see so far.
Another attack coming down the left side, but shut down very nicely by Pratt. Playing it into the middle here. Nice navigation by Peyton Chappelle. Chappelle is now the only player to have started every game for the Cardinals. She shared that title with Jaden Brooks this morning, but Brooks did not start today. So Chappelle is now the only player to have started all 12 matches this season. She has 5 goals and 2 assists on the year, and only her sophomore season. A ball in the middle that nearly found Johnson, ends up getting cleared away. High pressure, high possession. That is the name of the game for Louisburg. No matter what formation they play, their strategy is to hold on to the ball. It makes it so that the opponent cannot really do many things they want to do on offense, and is always under pressure on defense. Even when you've seen the Cardinals clear the ball, it often immediately finds the foot of a Wildcats player, is turning it right back around to restart another attack. That is exactly how Rockmore wants his team to play. This is Yos, who does really well to sneak past one. Now plays it out wide for Sewell. Layla Sewell takes the shot, which is deflected away by Ava Kane.
Wildcats definitely showing a fair little bit of urgency early on here. As you said, that's what Coach Rockmore has wanted them to do. A lot of this style that they've chosen to play by this year has not only been really successful for them, but it's clearly become an identity that they're really good at executing at. And we'll see as this game progresses how the Cards approach that. You would think trying to get them out of that comfort zone will be crucial. See how the Cards can approach this. As you said, they've been on a bit of a win
Wildcats
streak.
corner here goes in front of goal. Untouched. That was a big chance there from the corner kick. They've worked on their set pieces this season, and they have scored a goal from a corner kick that was a different one from that. It was a 1-2 routine where they passed it back and forth between the corner kick taker and a player who came up short. That one, though, was just the standard cross through the box. Definitely was a dangerous ball. Went right in front of the open goal, but no one could get a finishing touch on it. Louisburg with all the momentum here early. This is Brett Hayden. Plays it back to Pratt. Pratt looking for Brooks, but a little too far away from her. But it'll turn into a Cardinals throw. You can see the Wildcats trying to quickly counterattack and turn defense into offense. And this is going to be a chance here as Johnson takes away the throw-in. And then this touch will get away from Layla Sewell. The freshman has 1 goal on the year. Her sister, who plays in defense, has 4 goals. Faith Sewell, the junior. This is Yos, their star midfielder, who couldn't keep it in and now is hobbling off the field. This could be bad news for Louisburg. Yos has had injury troubles in the past and is clearly hurting right now.
Just an awkward landing.
Meanwhile, Johnson trying to fashion out an opportunity to shoot, and she might do just that with her left foot. It's deflected. The clearance only as far as Furco. Back to Furco, a 1-2, who goes down under no contact. Now this is Yos, looking a little more spry at the moment.
Was still moving.
Can get it away, but only as far as more Louisburg players.
Right. They were only starting to... Yos was a little ginger on that leg briefly, but as you said, much more spry when the possession did come her way.
Which, of course, I imagine, a little bit of adrenaline trying to help your team out.
Of course.
Not be a useless body out there.
Actually partake in some way.
It looks like she's hoping to continue on. They do have a sub waiting here. We'll see if it is for number 10. As Sydney York will check in, the junior midfielder. But who does she come in for? It will not be Yos. Instead, it is the freshman Layla Sewell, who's been playing left wing. Looks like it'll be a 1-for-1 substitution, with York taking over on the left side of the attacking third.
Certainly good news for the Wildcats to still have Yos in there. As you said, that would have been really, really big loss early on here.
Takes a shot there, ambitious. Cardinals yet to produce a shot. They really haven't even had the ball much on offense at this point. 4 shots already for Louisburg, 1 on target, that early chance which Fager saved.
Kind of seeming like just a matter of time here before those shots actually start turning into goals on the board. Cardinals, as you said, really getting controlled here early on. Going to be looking for some kind of way to turn that tide, but possession yet again. Wildcats really holding on to the way this one's played out so far.
Cardinals have conceded in 8 of the 11 games they've played this season. Only the 2 defeats, but they've had a lot of games where they scored, they had a 6-1 win, a 5-1 win, a 7-2 win, these type of things where their opponents still get the better of them at least once or twice in a game. And Louisburg are no easy pushover team here.
However, as you did mention this year, when the Cards have lost, they've been very, very decisive ones. I believe 7-0 and 8-0 are their 2 scores on their losses so far this year.
Yes, Bishop Miege and Gardner Edgerton, within the span of 3 days, got the better of the Cardinals. This is going to be a chance here that it will fall to Kylie Bourne. What can she do with it? She produces a shot, and it is pulled wide. The first chance for the Cardinals is a dangerous one for the speedy Kylie Bourne. A warning shot fired here for the Cards.
how easily things can change, right? Even though you've been getting controlled for largely close to 10 minutes at this point. An opportunity to flip that one around, and that was a really, really close shot. Certainly not a poor opportunity, not a meaningless one by any means.
That's an example of how speed kills. Bourne cleaned up the sloppy situation from Louisburg, tried to turn it into a counter chance. Earlier this year, Louisburg took part in the Turner Invitational, and they finished third. They had a defeat to Sumner Academy, and they also lost to Spring Hill this year. As their 2 defeats, every other game has been a victory. No draws for them on the year. The Cardinals have a couple. Some strong defending, and then Chappelle just getting it away to help her defense reset here. Still a lot of momentum for Louisburg. The Cardinals did have that nice chance for Bourne.
It's kind of been the outlier today, though. Outside of that, not a lot of significant opportunities for the Cards.
Johnson tried to bridge around the Cardinals defense, who have been under siege here. Caden Moreno gets it away, was looking for Bourne, and it'll fall to her after it was miscontrolled, but then it comes right back to York. And now here is Yos. Yos steps past one. A pass on the ground that's going to work for Moreno, or rather, this is Johnson. That one nearly fell to Bailey Johnson, the senior striker. Just realized I had my numbers crossed up. 20 is Kaylin Harris. I've been calling her Bailey Johnson. My apologies. Kaylin Harris, the freshman forward, has 6 goals and 3 assists on the year. And she's playing up the middle here for Louisburg. Looks like Johnson may be on the right wing for this game, at least for the time being. Cardinals just struggling to get anything going to try and escape from the defensive half of the field. Sometimes it's passes coming up short or being tackled by the nearest Louisburg player, and now we're going to have our first free kick today. The Wildcats are a dangerous team from free kicks. They have 3 free kick goals on the year. This one is pretty far to think about, though. About 30-some yards, but it will be a shot. Fager doesn't have to move, brings that one in. The Wildcats have scored 21 of their 33 goals this season in the first half. They are certainly a first-half team. Helps when you're sometimes mercy ruling your opponent that the second half is shorter than normal.
Right.
But they are generally a team that dominates in the first half. Even in games that they've had comfortable margins, they really do a lot of that damage in the first half of games.
Just drives the point home even more, right? If the Cards are able to stabilize a little bit here, and even if they don't win the half necessarily, just keeping goals from going on the board for the Wildcats, if they slow down a little bit in the second half, leaves that door open and almost becomes a game of survival
Looks
for
like
the Cards.
Jaden Brooks is prepared to sub into this game. She's got the captain's armband on her left arm. And the senior, who has started every game prior to today, will prepare to sub in, and she will be joined by Shay Hammerschmidt, a freshman, and then another late addition as well, Leah Barnhart. So a couple of freshmen and a senior come into the game. They will take the places of Brett Hayden, Caden Moreno, and Kennedy Stottleman. So Brooks back on the field here after not starting for the first time this season, and here is going to be a chance for the Cards. Brooks is waiting in the box, but it'll be a last-second tackle, which will give the Cardinals their first corner kick, and the defender for Louisburg has stayed down. Made a nice last-second lunge to get the ball behind for a corner. Cardinals have been dangerous from corners. Cambria Kerr, who's not playing today, scored an Olympico, which is when you score straight from the corner kick. But they've also had a standard corner kick goal this year. This one will be headed by Hammerschmidt. She was able to be first to the ball, but was not able to control it on target. And then it'll be a Cardinals throw here on this near side. But prior to that, a couple subs. Layla Sewell returns to the match, and Riley Moore will maybe not join just yet.
We'll see.
Actually, neither one will join. It seems like the official said, hold on, please. So the Cardinals take their throw in. Trying to just force in the box. That's a handball. That's going to be a penalty kick. That's a huge moment here. The Cardinals have had no momentum in this game, and now they're going to have a chance here from 12 yards out.
Huge moment to capitalize. The crowd knew it too.
That was a blatant handball. Easy to call that one. It looks like it'll be Peyton Chappelle to step up and take it. A huge moment here. The Cardinals have been on the back foot the entire game and now have a chance to take the lead.
Man, how huge would it be to put the Louisburg Wildcats on their toes after how dominant they've got to feel like they've been through the first portion of this first half.
Chappelle takes it on the ground and scores. The Cardinals, with their first shot on target, take the lead here 15 minutes into the first half, and that is a very big goal. A sixth on the season for Chappelle gives the Cardinals the lead over the Wildcats.
Man, what a critical error. What a huge miss for the Wildcats. This is the way they play. You've said they're a first half team. It's very much so in their favor, even if scoring isn't the most electric early on, just to control the pace of things, keep things manageable for themselves. And now, almost as quickly as they took control of this game early, now they find themselves, as you said, on the back foot, as the Cardinals had been for the first 10 to 12 minutes.
So a huge momentum shift there as the Cardinals, who had been on the back foot the entire time, now have the lead. And look, it's already brought them to life more here. A biggest attacking moment here that we've seen from them. It's going to be a run here for Bourne down the left side. And then Bourne, just before she could get a cross in, does end up getting tackled. But a huge moment, 16 minutes into our game. The Cardinals with their first shot on target coming from the penalty spot. A defensive lapse there for the Wildcats has made it so that there is work to be done here. And they have shown that they can do that work. They have produced chances, but really they haven't had as good of a chance since the one they had seconds into this game.
Yeah, that was the best one of the day.
And Fager made a huge save on it with the kick save. But now back to a bit more what we had seen for the first 15 minutes of this game, which is the Cardinals trying to get it away and just being unable to really truly clear, just sort of providing themselves a moment. And now a high kick will be called on Layla Sewell, so the Cardinals will have a free kick in their defensive half. For Chappelle, it's her 6th goal on the year. It gives her 8 goal contributions on the season. Maybe none bigger than that one there. Cardinals not able to get on the end of their free kick. Now some nice movement. Louisburg certainly capable of moving it under control. Kaylin Harris, though, loses out to it. Taken away nicely, but then a ball looking for Brooks will be a little bit too long. Brooks had a chance to get a foot in, but Cora Roush will stay calm and collected and get it away. And this one will roll all the way to Fager. So the Wildcats have played their style of ball. They've possessed all game long, but there was just one moment they slipped up. They conceded a corner kick, and the Cardinals did not let them get away with it, forcing pressure in the box and then capitalizing on the penalty kick, which is no small feat either. You know, in the pros, you definitely have a lot of expectations on the attackers, as here's going to be a chance for Bourne. Kylie Bourne cuts back, gets tackled, still loose, and then finally cleared away by Roush. In the pros, of course, you expect any forward to be able to tuck those penalty kicks away, but it is not easy at any level, and at the high school level especially. Just there's a lot of nerves, there's a lot of people here watching, and Chappelle was able to calm any nerves that may have been bothering her and tuck it away very nicely on the ground to the left side of the goal and put it past Allison Brown. Brown, who has kept 6 clean sheets on the year, will not have one today.
That was so big, I think. When you look at the grand scheme of the game and how this match will play out over time, not only does that change the way the Wildcats are going to approach the rest of this first half and possibly the rest of the match if they're not able to get that goal to even things up again, but I think it's really significant for just not missing the chances. Against a really good team in any sport, when they give you an opportunity, you have to make them pay for it. You can't afford to miss those shots when they come up. And as you said, a really, really impressive job by the Cards when the lights were bright, when everyone was watching, to manage to perform in the big moments and now give the Cards an advantage. And an advantage that they have certainly taken advantage of, playing a lot more aggressive and lively since that goal.
Cardinals with a little bit of some offensive control now for the first time in this game. They made a lot of substitutions. They brought in Sarber, Liana Muting, Coco Shutt, Cameron McCormick, and Peyton Van Horn have all checked into the game. Wildcats have got to feel like they don't deserve to go into halftime trailing, and they might be able to find a late opportunity to make it so that that's not the case. Cardinals have certainly had a hard time keeping them away from putting pressure on the goal. Louisburg with 5 shots at this point, 2 on target. The Cards with only 2 shots and 1 on target, and that, of course, being the penalty kick goal. When it comes to clearing the ball away, they just have not been able to. Even on the free kick that they had, they could not connect to it. We'll see now what happens on a goal kick. If the Cardinals can get it away from their goal and try and turn defense into offense, that's the crucial part here. That's the Wildcats' identity. On top of possessing the ball is counterattacks, and the Cardinals not really been able to do that. They've had some moments. Bourne just using her speed at the top of the formation, but in general, it's been tough for them to control it. But here was a moment of control around the 40-yard line of the football field. And now this is Hammerschmidt. A nice ball here down the far side to Chappelle. Taking her space down the left side and then looking for McCormick, but a little bit of miscommunication will turn it over. But some nice signs for the Cards, and now it might come back for Brooks. And Brooks does take it away and wins a throw-in for the Cardinals right next to the corner flag. Their goal came, or the penalty kick foul came from a throw-in in a dangerous area. Looking for McCormick. Cleared, but only slightly. Cardinals trying to turn it back around. Louisburg trying to get it out of their half, and now the Cardinals will play it back just to maintain possession here. Here's Hammerschmidt. Oh, a ball that had a little bit too much on it. Not a lot of communication for the Cards in the middle of the park, it would seem. Van Horn takes this one away, and then was looking for a 1-2 there. This one might come back for them, though. Still sitting there for Barnhart. Has a couple goals and an assist on the year. Leah Barnhart ends up turning that one over, though. The Wildcats smothering the Cardinals. It seems like it might be a tough task for the Cardinals to hold on to this 1-goal lead. They're trying to keep it in the middle of the park or even further down, but the Wildcats just so strong in their positioning and their possession of the ball. I do not think that it'll be an easy task to get out of here with the score still 1-0.
No, it seems like an inevitability the way they're playing. I mean, as you said, it's partially positioning, it's partially how they handle the possession themselves, but they're just so incredibly good at moving around and communicating well and making sure these possessions do turn into something significant. So I do agree with you that the Cards would certainly be happy if they're able to even get out of this first half without giving up a goal.
Ooh.
Wildcats seem to. Certainly seeming like they could be due for it. Of course, nothing is a given, but the control has definitely been there these last couple of minutes. Wildcats starting to look a little bit closer to that early form that they had.
Cardinals committing a foul throw, a needless turnover around midfield, giving the ball to the Wildcats. Johnson putting up a fight, or rather Layla Sewell. Loose here and now taken away by the Cardinals, but then Loose trying to get it out. Cardinals do come away with it. Van Horn plays this ball for Sarber. Cardinals just can't really get multiple passes in a row here. Hammerschmidt with a nice step back. But then now a turnover in a dangerous area. This is Kaylin Harris running down on the Cardinals net. She'll try to put it into the box, and it will roll behind harmlessly for a goal kick. 24 minutes into the first half. Oh, rather it will be a corner kick here. So they say that the cross from Harris was deflected behind. So another corner kick opportunity. They were dangerous the first time around. Put it right in front of the mouth of the goal, but no one got on the end of it. Currently they're all out of the box. They now make a late run in as it's sent into the top of the area. Controlled down, shot on goal, but deflected away. A crucial intervention there for the Cards, but still not done. And this one just gets away from another Louisburg attacker. And now they've got their backs turned to goal. And now here's a chance for the Cardinals to counterattack. This is Coco Shutt.
Nice move.
Shutt plays it on the ground for McCormick. And then McCormick is tackled very opportune defensively there by the Wildcats, but then they lose possession back. Van Horn sends it up. Still not dealt with here. And it'll be a Cardinals throw in a good spot. Definitely keeping Louisburg uncomfortable.
And a really good chance, a really good execution on the counter opportunity right there to flip the field around. And again, put themselves on the front foot. These opportunities so significant here. And so far, the Cards really have done a good job of making the best of those opportunities. And you're right, they're certainly keeping the Wildcats a little more uncomfy than they would like to be at this point. About 15 minutes remaining here in the first half.
Brett Hayden and Caden Moreno in for the Cards. On the other side, Merritt McIntyre and Aaliyah Gibbons in for Louisburg. It is Brooks, one of the players that made way for the Cards. There's a good first shift in here as a substitute. Louisburg running a bit of maybe a 4-4-2 or a 5-3-2 at the moment. So shifting up the formation to try and break down the Cardinals. And also trying to shore up defensively, bringing people into the middle of the park. I imagine Coach Rockmore is seeing the Cardinals being uncomfortable in the middle of the park and wants to capitalize on that, put more bodies in the midfield to make sure that there are no angles, no space for the Cardinals to breathe when they are trying to counterattack. A nice ball sent up, but taken away by Ava Kane. The Wildcats definitely have a way about them when they play, especially the 1-2s. They really like to, there's a lot of chemistry in their offense, and that was keeping the Cardinals uncomfortable for a while, and they can feel a little more comfortable with the 1-goal lead, but I think that the Wildcats still are showing they are a very dangerous squad. But the Cardinals have positioned themselves well, timing the tackles when need be. Here's Yos going on a run, but right on cue, Lizzie Fisher with a great tackle, making her 10th start on the season. Yos once again. Playing it for Johnson. It'll fall for Johnson. She was a little unsure of what to do with it, and she will win a corner kick for her team. A third corner for Louisburg. And now a lot of names going in there for the Cardinals. The premier of them being Kylie Bourne, Peyton Chappelle. Two dangerous players for the Cards. Pratt also among the players returning to the match.
Rowan Yo taking corner for Louisburg.
At the back post, this one will get in and then through untouched. And then cleared away, and a foul as Pratt was pushed to the ground, so that will relieve the pressure on the Cardinals. First goes to a Louisburg player, but she couldn't control it. But then the Cardinals also with poor control. Same old story in the middle of the park. Presenting chances to Louisburg needlessly, which the way that their offense operates, you cannot be giving them extra chances.
Yeah, it's a dangerous game to play.
Feels like almost dropping a foul ball or something that just, it's giving more chances than you need to, because Louisburg will make chances no matter how you play against them.
Right.
But when you hand them extra chances, that's just putting yourself in danger unnecessarily.
I mean, it's spinning around that handball from earlier. When you get those chances, you have to capitalize on them, and the Cards have got to do the best they can to try to avoid those opportunities even coming up. Because against a team like the Wildcats, this Lady Louisburg team that's just been so prolific and has shown in this game that they can be, you want to do all you possibly can to avoid giving them some extra bites at the apple, because eventually they are going to get in on one. Lights. Oh, you're good.
You're good.
Lights now kicking on here. We're starting to get a little bit cooler. Sun coming down just a tad.
Across into the box, dealt with comfortably by Fager to eliminate any danger here and let her team take a moment to breathe and work their way downfield. Fager's kick will go about 25 yards and come down to a Louisburg player. A nice 1-2. Part of the identity for Rockmore's Wildcats. Hammerschmidt with a strong tackle, but then couldn't find Bourne. Wildcats trying to hold on to the ball and fashion a chance. Find some space here, which they will, as Yos makes her way through a really good dribble, and then a left-footed shot will roll across the front of the goal and behind for a goal kick. That was an amazing dribble through the Cardinals defense, but no finishing touch on it.
That was unbelievably close to going in, too. Really, really impressive footwork. And as you said, the left-handed kick, really tough angle to execute properly, and just mere feet away from making that one really, really beautiful. That would have been a highlight-worthy goal. Absolutely.
Coach Rockmore, when talking about Yos, said she's a tough player to guard, not just because of her speed, but her instinctive protection of the ball in her footwork. But a lot of the opportunities for her have been created because the team are playing through opening the field in our possession and attacks. So he knows that he has a phenomenal player on his hands, but also that those chances are generally not made by what we just saw there, the DIY opportunities, but instead ones where the team set her up. But a mix of both is never a problem. And a coach is definitely not going to say no to somebody as talented as Rowan Yos.
You take those any way you can get them.
Cards have Stottleman waiting to check into the match. She made her 5th start today. 9 minutes to go in the first half. The Cardinals would have to feel pretty good if they go to the halftime break with the lead, considering the way that these first 15 minutes played out where they were on the back foot the entire time. The penalty kick goal is all that separates us here in a really big game within the Frontier League. Maybe more, though, for the Cardinals on the play here. This is looking for Bourne, but she is just tackled by Lila Edwards. Nice movement for Kaylin Harris to break down the Cardinals' press. Now can they turn this into a chance? Back to Harris. Oh, but she miscontrols it. And now the Cardinals turn it around. Hammerschmidt will just clear it away. A loose ball, but controlled by Mina Furco. A nice 1-2 for Edwards. And then a great tackle by Pratt to put it out for a throw-in. Strong challenge there. No foul from the referee. Pratt gets to this ball first, does really well to get away from her attacker and buys herself some time and space, but then doesn't do anything with the clearing kick and now has some work to do. She will get a foot in on the ball and win a throw-in very nicely. Now Stottleman will get a chance to check in, along with Jaden Brooks, taking the places of Brett Hayden and Hammerschmidt. So you would think Stottleman will take over in that defensive midfield role, it would seem, and Brooks taking over on the left wing.
A sustained run of play for the Cards would be really, really nice right now as we start to wind down this first half, just to try to keep the Wildcats from getting any significant momentum as we go into the break here. But yet again, Louisburg doing all they can to seize control here.
We'd love to see
the dying
them,
minutes.
We'd love to see them win a corner kick. I think that's just a great way to slow everything down, take a breather, and then create a great chance for your team. Both get the ball there, so clean play. Furco gets tackled. And then Bourne is looking here, trying to find Steele, and now Steele will take it away, but then a great tackle by Roush. And then it's still loose, and Steele tackled once again. Cardinals sort of trying to keep it messy in that attacking third, just putting pressure on the Louisburg defense to not let them turn it around and clear it.
Certainly plays to their benefit
and
so far.
It is a bit of a mistake there for Louisburg. Despite how clean they've been on offense and even in the middle of the park, their defense looking a little uncomfortable. I think that's exactly what the Cardinals are looking for. Maybe not trying to score the prettiest of goals, but they all count the same.
Right. Well, it's kind of a bonus if you can keep the Wildcats a little bit uncomfortable, right? If you're able to kind of jar them a little bit going into that second half. As you said, they have been primarily a first-half team. That's where they do a lot of their damage. If you're able to hold them through 40 minutes completely goalless and having them playing a little bit uncomfy on defense, it's about the closest thing to a winning combination the Cards might have gotten through these first 40.
Great ball for Pratt, but she couldn't control it. But it will be a Cardinals throw. Pratt wanting to move quickly. Tries to find Steele. And then now this is going to be a chance here as Yos works around the right side of the Cardinals back line. Plays it down for Harris. Harris shoots, and it is behind. Those shots or those opportunities can come out of nowhere for the Wildcats with how quickly and how effectively they move. And it seems like Yos is all right in this game after that early scare.
Yeah, certainly seems to be doing just fine, which always a good thing to see.
Bad news for the Cards, though.
Right, bad news for the Cards. Phenomenal news for Louisburg, but always just a good thing to have your best players outplaying at any given point. Never want to see anybody taken out of the game, especially early on like that. Creates a better product for us fans watching at home.
Chappelle looking for Steele, and Steele might get a chance to take it away. It'll come to Chappelle instead. Chappelle has some players in support. Brooks will get the pass here. A nice leading ball, but just a little bit out of reach for her. Just a little bit over 4 minutes to go in this first half. The goal that separates us was from 12 yards out, a penalty kick from Peyton Chappelle in the 16th minute of our match. Cardinals started unequivocally on the back foot for the first 15 minutes. It's been a little more even for the last 5 or 10, I'd say.
I would agree.
But if there were a team that you'd say seemed more likely to create a chance that they would capitalize on, you'd have to say it's Louisburg.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, although a little bit of fire definitely was brought out for the Cards.
Ooh, a ball here for Bourne. No way she gets to this one. She does around the right side. Couldn't hold on to it, though. Might get a chance to come back for it. And it will be a Cardinals throw. Unbelievable that Bourne was able to wrap around the outside of the defender to get to that one. And now with just over 3 minutes, the Cardinals with the throw in a dangerous spot. Trying to keep Louisburg from being able to clear. And that's exactly what will happen as Bourne takes it away. Sends in a cross that hits off the foot of Steele and rolls into the hands of Allison Brown. Brown in her first year as a goalkeeper, her senior year as a Wildcat, has kept 6 clean sheets this season, but not today. And then Yos will be taken down here by Caden Moreno. That'll give away a free kick, which will allow the Wildcats to push forward. Take their time here and then bring out a set-piece routine. It'll be Faith Sewell to take. She scored 2 free kick goals this season. I don't think she'll be taking a shot right here, though. Sends it into a dangerous spot, and it does roll all the way through to Abby Fager. think maybe she was just putting it in a dangerous area rather than trying to score from 55 yards out.
But if it were to happen,
it would be her. One of hers was from 35 yards out this season, so
just anyone on the team who could have.
Stottleman got to that one, but then was quickly tackled. Now Harris, Kaylin Harris, plays it out for Johnson, who tries to get the 1-2, but it is cleared. Minute 45 to go. Brooks miscontrols that one, gives away a throw-in for the visitors. A ball into the middle of the park. Furco has to chase this one down under pressure from Bourne. Bourne relentless here, trying to get the ball away. Makes Furco have to play it back. And then a great step there by Sewell. Sat Bourne down, still going Sewell. And then she will win a free kick. Very nicely done by the junior defender. Sewell was the Week 2 Louisburg Athlete of the Week from the Louisburg Sports Zone, which have done an amazing job covering this team in particular and also all of Louisburg sports. They allowed me to really familiarize myself with this team. Fager will get her hands to that one. And in fact, they'll say corner kick instead, so she was not able to keep it in bounds. Seemed like she was to me, but I suppose the linesman who's standing right there probably knows better.
He might have an idea.
So that gives away a fourth corner kick in this first half to Louisburg. A couple of them have looked really dangerous. This one played short. They go for the 1-2. It is a step there from the Cardinals, and they're going to clear. So the routine there does not work out, and then Yos was a little uncomfortable under pressure from Steele. Maybe some more moments here for the Cards. A loose ball, and now it's going to be a 3v1. Brooks has Steele in support. Can they get another goal here in this half? Steele, oh no. Brooks was chased down and stopped from behind. They also ran out of time on the clock. A last-second opportunity for the Cardinals, not able to come to fruition, but we do head to halftime with a lead for the Eudora Cards from a 16th-minute penalty by Chappelle. They lead the Wildcats 1-0.
High-quality foods, friendly service, great prices, and a connection to the community that is unsurpassed. That's Jean's Heartland Foods in Eudora. Family-owned, Jean's Heartland Foods offers a convenient one-stop shop, delivering the everyday essentials you need to specialty items from around the world. Jean's friendly staff is here to help you find exactly what you're looking for. You have options when it comes to feeding your family. Choose to support local. Choose Jean's Heartland Foods, 1402 Church Street in Eudora, or online at heartlandfoodstores.com.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
More time before you wake up in the wild.
Our natural world needs us now. Step by step, side by side, together, we can find a way to ensure that all life on Earth can thrive. To learn more about how you can help protect and conserve nature, visit nature.org.
Number one, obviously, is safety. We definitely call 811 to find out if there are any buried lines, fiber optic, whether it be telephone or pipeline or anything. Don't take a chance. Don't think you know and say, well, I don't remember anything being put in there. Call 811 and make sure that that's identified, that there isn't something there before you make that crossing. Because in the end, we want everybody going home.
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know. It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom and your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you. Before it's too late, understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
The MVPs of BBQ. That's Barbed Wire Barbecue in Eudora. Family owned and operated, Barbed Wire Barbecue delivers great food and small town hospitality at a valued price. High quality hickory smoked meats, house seasonings, and time tested recipes put Barbed Wire Barbecue a cut above the rest. Kick off your weekend with their delicious brunch on Saturdays and Sundays and enjoy game day your way with Barbed Wire Game Day Packs. Visit them at 601 East 10th in Eudora or see their full lineup of flavors at barbedwirebarbecue.com. Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
All right, welcome in here to our halftime show brought to us by Jean's Heartland Foods. Shop local and support local at Jean's Heartland Foods. You can visit their website, eudora.heartlandfoodstores.com, to sign up for exclusive offers and rewards today. Our halftime score is 1-0 in favor of the Cardinals. A penalty kick in the 16th minute of the match is what separates us, and it was pretty fortunate, I think, that the Cardinals find themselves on top here at half. They can maybe readjust here and see how they attack the second half, but these stats they tell the picture pretty clearly. The Cardinals, well, let's start Louisburg, 8 shots, 3 on target, 4 corner kicks in the match. That tells you that's a team on the front foot. Compare that to the Cardinals, 2 shots, 1 on target, 1 corner kick, but they have the goal, and it was from that corner kick sequence of play. And yeah, their first shot of the match, their only shot on target, it was that penalty kick. And they did have that later chance for Bourne, which was a really big opportunity, and she was not able to steer that one on target. That has been it in terms of shooting opportunities. The Cardinals have had a little bit of the ball in the offensive third, but really they kind of haven't. It's been a lot of in the midfield or worse in the defensive half for the Cardinals, just kind of trying to stay alive, which is really hard to do for the duration of a full match. You can do the whole staying alive, clearing it away for the last 10-20 minutes of a game, but you just cannot do it for a full match. I have seen many a team try, of many far more talented players than the Cardinals have, and they have some real talent, but I mean world-class defenses. They just can't do it. You just cannot withstand a team attacking and knocking your door down for the entirety of a match. And that's what the Cardinals at least have done here for the first half, and to their credit, they've made it halfway with just trying to get it. I mean, a lot of their clearances weren't even all that far down the field. They were just kind of delaying the inevitable of being under siege, and then they were also giving it away on offense. This was not a great half for the Cardinals, but it is great that they lead, and they need to try and capitalize on that and try and I mean, a second goal would be massive, but I think they can try and get out of here 1-0, but they need to do it differently, and they need to do it with some offense, and that's how how Louisburg have played this season. Even when they're winning games, they possess the ball, and that's how they try and control the game, is by having it. The Cardinals just have had no possession. When they get the ball, they look really uncomfortable on it. Only a few players seem to be in control when they have the ball at their feet, and I just don't think that that's sustainable here in the second half. We'll see what they end up doing, but I don't know. It's great that they're leading. I love that they're leading. Obviously, that means that they could win, but I sort of have my doubts that they could repeat what they just did in that first half.
Yeah, it's certainly possible to hold on, but I think you worded it well. They just have to do it differently. You simply cannot play the way they played those last 25 minutes to hold on to that 1-0 lead for another 40 and hope to survive, especially against a team that has already had as many shooting opportunities as Louisburg has, and they've gotten so close numerous times already. At some point that dam is going to break, right? And you're going to see those goals start coming. So I do think it is very possible for them to hold on, but the approach is going to have to be different. The offense is going to matter, because you might think, you're up by a goal. Why aren't you just playing a lot of defense? Well, the offense will produce the defense to an extent. If they're able to be a little bit stronger on their possessions and a little bit stronger in their runs of plays, just sustaining possessions even, can just keep Louisburg on the back foot a little bit, where they've been able to essentially charge forward for the entirety of that first half. Although they were down for a little over half of it, it's going to have to be a little different in the second half. Louisburg certainly looking stronger.
Yeah, and it's tough because the Cardinals, certainly they do not need to push a bunch of bodies forward. We're not saying
not
they need to try and win this game 3-0 or something. But you'd love to see Bourne, Brooks, Steele, those players just kind of work the ball further downfield, create time for the defense. But the way that the Cardinals play is not nearly as organized as what the Wildcats are doing, where they're connecting these really nice passes and then trying to set up crosses. The Cardinals are sort of trying to overwhelm the Wildcats defense, which is, they push bodies forward, they press, and then they try and shut down the clearance, not allow Louisburg to get the ball clear. And that's, you can do that, and they've gotten the goal from it. They did exactly that. They overwhelmed the team, won a corner kick, then ensuingly won a throw-in, and then from the throw-in, penalty kick, and a great job by Chappelle to score. Don't want to whisk past that or anything. An amazing job by Chappelle. It was a really good penalty, and in that moment just totally changed the game, because the first 15 minutes were looking pretty bad for the Cardinals. Yeah. And then instead they had a lead for the majority of that first half, and they still lead here at halftime. But so I don't know what they can do, if they can try and ask for more of Brooks down the left wing or Steele. I don't know. It'll be tough, and it'll be interesting to see what the Wildcats do. It seemed like they were adjusting formations. They're not playing in their standard formation, but no matter what they do, they have really effective offensive players, and the chances will come. Fager made a huge save about a minute into this game that was only grown to be a more big moment in this game, because that was I don't even know how much she knew about where the ball was coming in. It sort of just hit her in the foot, but a save is a save. Great positioning is great positioning. And it's been the only save that she's really had to make, even though there's been the 3 shots on target. A couple of them were deflected away by the defense, which is a credit to the defense for helping Fager keep that clean sheet at least through the first half. But there's work to be done for the Cards, even though they lead. But the Wildcats are on the back foot. We'll see how they respond to that. They've tended to be a first-half team, but they will have to be a second-half team today if they want to get a result here. The Cardinals have worked a couple draws this season, maybe could try and get another one here. The Wildcats have yet to tie a match this season, 7 wins, 2 defeats. So we will see how it plays out. A fascinating first half for sure. Super excited to see what happens in the second half. We'll go ahead and take a break here from our halftime show.
Number one, obviously, is safety. We definitely call 811 to find out if there are any buried lines, fiber optic, whether it be telephone or pipeline or anything. Don't take a chance. Don't think and say, well, I don't remember anything being put in there. Call 811 and make sure that that's identified, that there isn't something there before you make that crossing. Because in the end, we want everybody going home.
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know.
and Clark sheer athleticism.
It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom
Reaching residential areas.
and your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you. Before it's too late, understand the threats, protect press.
Cardinals and Wildcats about ready to get going here on our second half. It'll be the Wildcats to begin with the ball. Cardinals aligned in a 4-3-3. Looks like the Wildcats in something similar. So we talked about that the Wildcats have tended this season to play in a different formation. As here's going to be an early run here for Yos, who was getting some treatment in the break. An early chance here, and they score! It took all of 14 seconds for the Wildcats to equalize here in the second half. It's a little bit of what we were talking about, Hayden. It just felt too good to be true. And the Wildcats with an amazing first move right out the gate. They have tied this match at 1 apiece.
Man, snapping back to reality. We talked about it a whole lot in that break. They said, what are you talking about us like we're the inferior team for? We'll come back out, equalize this, and now it's effectively a 0-0 game starting off another half. Man, that was huge. They made that look so effortless, too. The communication again on point, the movement again on point. Flawless start here from Louisburg.
And so that sort of just resets everything for the Cardinals, and it might even, unfortunately, completely negate whatever halftime talk they just got from Coach Earp, but was probably something to do with trying to protect their lead. That lead is gone in moments. It took 14 seconds for them to get downfield. Harris with the goal. It's her 7th on the year, assisted by Yos, her 6th assist on the season. The Cardinals do have a corner kick here, but that is a tough pill to swallow immediately, conceding. Here's a corner kick sent in. It finds a teammate, but then is cleared away. Stottleman will go and corral this one. But yeah, it's just what we were talking about, Hayden. It's funny, I was thinking, you know, the second we went into that break, I was thinking, man, maybe I was a little bit harsh. I don't know. The Cardinals are literally leading, and here we are lambasting them. But it took, 15 seconds for the Wildcats to score it, which felt like it was inevitable in this game. They've just been so clean on offense. And, you know, the Cardinals have been much more messy on offense, but, hey, that got them their goal, and so they could certainly do it again. But they will have to now. And now a player going to go down, fouled by Brett Hayden. That is Bailey Johnson.
Once again, as you said, it's the way that Louisburg has been playing so far, how organized they've been, how clean they've been. You can't play 80 minutes at that degree of organization and not eventually have something fall your way. It was truly not a matter of if, but a matter of when. It just happens that when happened a lot sooner than I think you or I thought it would.
But yeah, and as I was in the middle of saying before that goal happened, both teams opting for the 4-3-3. That's pretty standard for the Cardinals, but the Wildcats have tended to be a little more fancy with their formations. But I think they're just trying to go back to the basics here and to break down the cards, put more bodies in good positions, which I think is a respect to the Cardinals' defense, maybe a bit of a disrespect to their midfield, which is, you kind of have to say that both of those are earned throughout the way that this game has gone for the first half. This will set up here for Harris. Tries to send it in, but it's cleared away. Bourne takes it down, but is dispossessed, and now it's Yos. A nice 1-2, puts Yos in a lot of space on the left side. Yos might look to shoot, but instead gets tackled, and will let it roll for a corner kick. A 5th in this match for the Wildcats. Last time they went for the short corner, the 1-2 was shut down quickly by the Cardinals. But earlier this season, that did work for a goal on the year. That was something that Coach Rockmore was very proud of. His team has worked on those set pieces. Cardinals spread out and put their opponent under pressure. One way to try and counter possession is to press high and hard. It does cost a lot of times in terms of fatigue, but to try and press and just make sure they can't hold on to the ball. But then Louisburg responded to that by putting more numbers in the middle of the park with the 4-3-3, and now Yo's in space. She'll shoot with the left, and she will score! And in 4 minutes here in the second half, the Wildcats have turned this game around and now lead.
And I almost got a chance to say, didn't quite get to, even when it's 1-1, when you say it's equalized, it didn't feel that way. It felt like the way Louisburg had been playing, tying this game up really was a win for them, because you knew they were kind of due to get another one at some point. And now that they're down a goal, Cards have gone from mildly uncomfortable, even up 1-0, to now got to be feeling like they're in a little bit of a trench here, down by a goal with how hot Louisburg has come out in just the first 5 minutes here.
Yos with a goal and an assist The goal is her 12th on the year. And the Cardinals now trail in a game where they were very lucky to get out of the first half with the lead. A shot here will run wide. And I don't know, it'll be a long road back for them. They'll need to really try and regroup and change the way that they are moving the ball downfield now that Louisburg can play with the lead. They can possess the ball even more, worry less about trying to attack Fager's goal. But they will still take the chances when they come, as it might here for Johnson. But she miscontrols the ball and has it taken away by Chappelle. I think at this point, Hayden, the halftime talk has been completely thrown out the window. There will probably be some new instructions from Coach Earp coming out, trying to maybe help his team settle down a little bit and try and then get on the front foot, which they really haven't been for much at all in this game. A cross sent in by Johnson is cleared. This is now Edwards, who recorded the assist on that second goal from Yos. And now a couple of changes. Brooks and Hammerschmidt will come in along with Mina Furco. Hayden, one of the Cardinals players to leave, and also Kennedy Stottleman. Brooks was one of those names we called on in halftime, thinking that she could be one who does a little bit of those DIY runs and takes the ball down the left wing and just gives the Cardinals some time to breathe, which now that's a whole other thing. We were saying to try and see out the game with the way that it was, which was going to take a little bit of some offensive play, but now they need effective offensive play, not just offensive play to kill time and have the ball on the other side of the field. But they now need a goal.
Yeah.
And they were pretty fortunate in the way that they got it. They did absolutely earn it, but the handball was, I don't know if that's something that they can recreate.
The cards fell their way, certainly so.
Nice.
Yeah,
so
right.
it's going to be, they're going to probably need to get one from open play, and I just don't know what that'll look like. Or a free kick or corner. Those have been dangerous as well all year for the Cards. But this will be tough.
You just wonder where that starts, right? I mean, what is it going to take? What foundation do the Cards need to start laying right now to find themselves in that position? Whether it's rattling Louisburg a little bit or getting some of their own momentum going, it's going to be a lot of chipping away over this next 33 minutes for sure. Certainly not going to get it all back at once, and it's going to be a little bit of a process to get back into this thing.
And you have to imagine they're shell-shocked. It took 4 minutes for them to see their lead completely disappear and then have the lead taken by the visitors. Certainly a shock to the system, but can also maybe give an adrenaline boost, so sort of an oh no you don't kind of feeling.
Right. But I think it's needless to say, as you mentioned, that halftime talk, whatever was said, has likely completely gone out the window at this point. You got to think a lot of that was probably maintaining what they had built, and there's no longer a whole lot built.
Leah Barnhart checks in. She has a couple of goals and an assist on the year. This one's going to fall for Evie Steele. And it takes a touch, and that'll be a corner kick for the Cardinals. This is a big opportunity. This will probably be their way in to try to get back into this game. Corner kicks, yes. Free kicks. I don't know. They just don't seem to have it from open play today. But they have always been dangerous from the set pieces this year. Their goal came from a set piece, the penalty kick. What can they do here from the corner? Sent in to the area and connected with by Brooks, but then cleared away. Brooks was first to that one. Looked like she put a knee on it, whatever gets it on target, but it was cleared away. For my book, I am registering that as a shot on target for the Cards. A first here in the second half, a first since the goal. Here is Bourne down the right side. She has a couple options in the middle. Brooks is the one she was looking for here. Brooks gets a foot to it. And where will this call go? It'll be a goal kick. They say it went last off of Jaden Brooks. So the Cardinals fashioning some chances. Maybe they call them half chances, Hayden, which is when it's, with the right luck, that one, it certainly could have gone, but it's not one where you think, man, you really should have scored that.
Right.
That's what they call those half chances. I would call that one a half chance
Kind
right
of,
there.
kind of chances.
Yeah. Couldn't capitalize on that one, but positive signs for the Cards here, 10 minutes in.
No, it absolutely was, but you got to think still, down by a goal, even if it's just a partial half chance, you've got to get those. I mean, they've got to be feeling like those are fairly crucial.
This one went right to Steele. She couldn't touch it, but then Brooks gets it, and that's just going to have to be cleared away. That'll win possession for the Cardinals. A little bit messy there for Louisburg. The throw in might roll behind here. Is this going to be, it'll be a goal kick. Last touch off of a Cardinals player. I wonder how it feels for the Wildcats in this game after trailing for 25 minutes in that first half, turning it around. You have to imagine that feels pretty good, but could also maybe, I don't know, could lead to some complacency. I don't suspect that this is the type of team to do that, but it's not impossible. Some
It can
lovely
happen.
ball movement, though. Man, they just have such soft touches, such finesse a lot of the time. This will be a throw-in in an attacking area for the Wildcats.
Just coordination. They're so strong with their movement. I mean, they always seem to be on the same page with one another. I don't know if I've seen a single instance today offensively where they look like they've caught each other off guard. I mean, they seem to know exactly what's coming at a given moment. And that's how you can rattle off those multiple goal runs within just a couple of minutes.
Brooks gets this away. And to go along with that, the Cardinals have done very well to position themselves, get tackles at the right time, because they were able to hold this team at bay for the first 40 minutes and are still doing so now. This one's sent into the area. Fager grabs. The Cardinals have done well. They absolutely have positioned themselves well, and I think that's led to the Louisburg decision to load up the midfield and the attacking half, because the Cardinals' defense was doing enough to get it away, but they were generally clearing it 10, 20 yards, not far enough to actually eliminate the opportunity. And so that's why you'd want more bodies around the middle of the park to take over those loose balls, those clearances. This one will be a Cardinals throw, born with some nice effort to win a throw. Certainly some positive signs. There is a lot more Cardinals offense going on than we saw in the first 15 minutes of the first half. So there's something here to be said for the Cardinals as they try to find their way back into an equalizer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're far from out of this one. And they are showing some of those positive signs we talked maybe 10 minutes ago about just laying that foundation, laying those pillars down of which you can start to build a little bit of momentum off of. And
Pratt with the first-time cross for Brooks, and it just will get away from her and be gathered now by Allison Brown. Something we have not seen much from the Cardinals is first-time balls, which is when you don't control it, you just kick it while it's rolling. Always a lot harder to control, but it's always a great way to catch a defense off guard or out of position. You just can't move faster than the ball can if you're kicking it immediately, but we've seen the Cardinals often control the ball, which is a great idea to make sure that you actually put it where you want to. But if you can control the ball with your first touch, that is the true way to beat a defense from open play. A substitute waiting for Louisburg. Brindley Evie will come in, or she will have to wait for now.
She is ready to come in. Not quite yet, though. This one popped up.
Another Cardinals throw, so the defender continues to have to wait to sub in. Throw taken by Muting. Yos pops it out. Another Cardinals throw in. Lillian Muting has a goal and 2 assists on the season.
Shall we start placing bets on it? Is that 3 or is that 4?
That was 4 in a row, make it 5. It's one way to work your way downfield.
I mean, if it's working.
This one will fall for Chappelle, trying to get it under control. Was looking for Brooks, but standing in the way is Jaden Bentz. This one will fall for Pratt. Took an awkward bounce, and she comes away with it. A ball for Steele, and then Chappelle takes a shot. And just over the crossbar. Not a bad idea there at all. Another first-time hit there for the Cardinals.
I mean, it's certainly not a bad idea if it works, but yeah, that was not a poor decision whatsoever. Clearly had the confidence that she could get it there and was oh so close to doing it. And as you said, looking for an equalizer, that would have been one heck of a way to do it.
Now the Cardinals have Coco Shutt waiting in the wings. She's got 3 assists on the year. Hammerschmidt for Chappelle. Now Bourne. Back for Pratt. Now Kane. Moving it across the back line. Lizzie Fisher will just get that one away. And it will fall to the feet of Barnhart. Looking for steal, but just too far away from her. Cardinals really have Louisburg on the back foot here. I think that's the first time that we've really been able to say that. There was a point in time in the first half where it was back and forth and maybe more in favor of the Cardinals. But right now they have Louisburg actually looking a bit uncomfortable here, even though I'm sure they are electing to sit back to some extent. Sure. But they're not clearing it very comfortably at all.
No, this is the most definitive I think we've seen the Cards offense look probably all night long. Because even like you said, you know, the next closest would have been immediately after that goal, where they seemed to kind of have a fire lit underneath them. But even then, it was fairly back and forth.
Wow, not sure how that one's not a foul.
Contact
on Muting. Play goes on. Johnson comes up a little sore from that challenge by Muting.
She is up though. Look to laugh over at the sideline.
Wildcats trying to get it out of defense. Pratt steps towards the ball. What's the call here? It'll be a Wildcats throw in, which will allow a couple of players to check in for them. Riley May and Riley Moore come into the match, and also for the Cardinals, Coco Shutt and Cameron McCormick. Chappelle, one of the players to leave the match. Sydney York exits on the other side. Evie Steele and then Mina Furco are the players coming out. So Steele and Chappelle off for the Cardinals are 2 big absences for the time being. They were getting a lot done in the offensive part, but we'll see what the substitutes can do for the Cardinals. Maybe they'll have some answers, but first there'll be need some defensive play here. Muting sends this one farther downfield. Cardinals trying to do their same strategy, overwhelming the Louisburg defense. A counter to that Louisburg really haven't pulled out much is just playing it back. If you're under pressure and unable to clear, you can play it back to your goalie and let her do the clearing instead. But they seem to be very wary of playing the ball backwards. And sometimes even the Cardinals have shut that down as well with having the player on the ball surrounded.
You would think they would have tried it a little bit more than they have. Certainly a very available option, but they have been a little bit reluctant to do so thus far.
I know for some people it can be a big turnoff to soccer, but a lot of times the best pass is backwards. It doesn't always have to be going towards the goal trying to score this second. Sometimes the best chance is to restart things, go from the back, and try from the beginning again. Cardinals will make a change here now, taking out Bourne and putting in Emma Sarber. So you'd say the three of the most dangerous players for the Cardinals as of late, Steele, Bourne, and Chappelle, are currently sitting on this near-sided bleacher. But there are some fresh subs out there, some fresh legs who can maybe provide something new for the Cardinals.
Reed speaking on the backwards pass. Sometimes you get about halfway up the mountain, route's wrong, you got to just turn around and go back up. There's your deep quote for the day.
McCormick plays this one to Brooks. She's the real leading force left on the pitch at this time for the Cardinals offense. Nice move there. Oh, but will it stay in? Muting does just keep it in. It was a great move by Lizzie Fisher to deceive the press from Johnson. Halfway through just about this second half of the match, after the 4-minute period right at the beginning where the Wildcats turned this game on its head. Cardinals have had the run of play pretty much ever since, which is a big credit to them. But can they capitalize? Can they produce more shooting opportunities? A couple shots taken in this second half already. Hammerschmidt gets a foot in. Muting couldn't keep it in. Maybe a big chance lost there for the Cards. Maybe Hammerschmidt could win it right back, though. Gets a foot in and draws a foul. That's going to be in a nice spot for the Cards, about 40 yards out from goal. Could send one in and look to try and find the head of an attacker here. Ball sent in, and looks like she was going for goal there, Leah Barnhart. Not a bad attempt. Ends up pulling it wide, though. We said those set pieces are likely to be a very dangerous route for the Cardinals, but they've also shown that they can do it from open play. The start of the second half, they've cleaned things up a lot more. At this point, we're halfway through the first part of this second half. They have really cleaned things up as a team, started to look more coherent as an offense. Muting is going to be run past here by Roush, who sends it into the box in a dangerous area, and Fager does really well to come out and collect that one. That was an amazing cross that was going to result in a goal-bound shot, but Fager coming out in her box and fearlessly falling on top of that one.
Yeah, that could have gone from bad to worse really, really quickly. Credit to Fager for stepping in and quite literally taking one for the team there.
Those are always really tough to read for goalies. They sometimes can be scared to leave their goal because you leave yourself very vulnerable if you don't get to the ball first. So you really have to make that decision, one, quickly, and two, accurately, if you know that you can get there first. And she decided, I can get there, and she was right. Hammerschmidt with a nice pass to McCormick. But then McCormick's going to be tackled by Harris. But then quickly taken back by Kane, who's trying to go on a run on herself here. Wildcats not really possessing the ball as much as they did in the first half, and as much as I think they would like to in general. As we said, I do think that to a certain extent they're sitting back on purpose, but I think the Cardinals are also taking it to them a little more than they were expecting with the way that first half played out. Here's Yos. Some nice movement, and now a switch of play across for Roush. Roush cuts in, was looking to shoot, but it will be cleared away by Fisher. Only as far as Harris. Harris looking for space to shoot. She will shoot a curler, but Fager grabs that one wide of her post. Just under 18 minutes of play left in the regulation here. Cardinals have been trailing for almost the entire second half after going into halftime with the lead.
I'd say it's effectively been the entire second half. I don't know if they had if they touched the ball a single time on offense to start out that second half. It was quite truly the first touch that anyone had. Louisburg tied this thing up.
Sewell going on a run. Plays this one behind for Aaliyah Gibbons. Gibbons trying to work past Kane, but Kane is able to take it away. Does a nice move to find some space and then finds a teammate, Van Horn. Then Van Horn takes too big of a touch, and Yos will capitalize. She runs around the outside on the left. Yos sends it in and will win a corner kick. You give Yos just a small bit of space, and that's enough for her to fashion out a chance for her team and now win a corner kick, which is a great chance to slow things down, eat some clock, and then send in a ball in a dangerous area and try and get a goal, which at this point would be completely against the run of play. Yos preparing to take the corner that she just won, sending it in with her right foot and completely mishit that one. She's still over in the corner flag, mad at herself for the way that one came off of her foot. But it's still bouncing around, and now this one will find Yos in some space. And she'll take a shot, and Fager has to save, and the rebound is put wide. That was a really big chance there off the rebound from Yos' shot. Two quick opportunities in succession there. One of them going on goal and forcing a second save in this match from Fager. And then a huge chance falling to Cora Rausch. The defender just not able to capitalize with a pretty open goal there.
It's about as open as it would get. I mean, Fager fairly fortunate at the way that one fell, found herself in a position where she really couldn't have done a whole lot if that one were placed a little bit better.
And she made a great save on the initial shot. Would have liked to have punched it into a better area rather than instead of in front of her goal, but does end up getting away with it. Not the first time that the Wildcats have spurned a big chance. I think it's the first time in this second half, but in this match there have been some big moments just completely wasted by the Wildcats. Got just over 15 minutes to go in the match. Cardinals scored a penalty kick in the first half, and the Wildcats with 2 goals in the first 4 minutes of the second half. The Cardinals have looked pretty good in this second half, but it looks like maybe the Wildcats sort of breaking back in with momentum, trying to get some run of play. Moreno back to Fisher, and there will be a free kick won by Mina Furco. It'll be Faith Sewell to take this free kick. She has a big leg and will send this one into a dangerous area, maybe even towards goal. She'll first get a quick talking to by Coach Rockmore. Rockmore here in his first year with the team, or rather his first year as the head coach. He's been there for 5 years now, as this one will be put on target, but pretty harmlessly, and gets a save out of Fager. They graduated 4 starters last year after going 13-5-1, and Rockmore taking over after Ben York was the coach for the last 2 years. But Rockmore has been there for 5 years as an assistant coach. So a good amount of continuity even in the novelty. This ball for Coco shut, but couldn't get a foot on it. And now Lila Edwards, who assisted the second goal of this match, or the second goal for the Wildcats, third goal of the match, will return to play. And the Cardinals will make a couple changes themselves. Returning to the game, Evie Steele and Kylie Bourne. That will be a big return for the Cardinals. 2 players that could certainly help the Cardinals regain that front foot they were on and try and capitalize. Chappelle also back out on the pitch. A very dangerous trio indeed.
It'll be really interesting to see if they're able to gain that kind of control and run of play significant that they had.
Oh, Hammerschmidt going to get called for a foul. I don't know if I quite agree with that one. Every second so costly now. Just under 12:30 left in the match. So every second that ticks away, waiting for a ball to be put back into play, is crucial moments coming away out of this match.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's Kane. She's been trying to get some stuff done from the defensive third. And she will now find herself in some space. Kane.
Crafty.
Tried to play that one to Bourne, but a little bit too near to the defender, Edwards. Cardinals do get it right back, and Fisher with a nice big clearing kick. And it'll fall to Steele. Oh, but then Steele just sort of lost control of it. Hammerschmidt. Back for Bourne. Bourne going to take as much space as they'll give her down the right wing. Gets past one challenge. Bourne still going. Fights through another challenge now against Edwards. Trying to find any space that she can, and she'll win a throw-in. Huge there by Kylie Bourne. That'll let her team get up into position, and they'll also make a couple changes. Jaden Brooks and Lillian Muting. Brooks has 8 goals on the year. Would love to get one right now. Hammerschmidt and Leanna Muting are the two to step out of the match, and there are also a couple changes for the Wildcats. Throw in first found a Louisburg player, and now fighting down around the corner flag, but it'll be a throw in near the back line. 10 minutes and 30 seconds left in the match.
Man, and you're right. Every single second that goes by at this point, time is so of the essence for the Cards.
Ooh, a great move by Chappelle, who's just going to take an opportunity to shoot and forces a save out of Allison Brown. Sorry, Hayden, go ahead.
No, you're good. That was kind of unexpected out of nowhere, but yeah, with so little time left at this point, 10 minutes just over, I mean, it could take a couple minutes just to set up a significant opportunity, right? They're almost looking for some degree of good fortune here, kind of needing things to fall their way, or I could say, and really, they need to play so well. They need to play organized and clean the rest of the way out here. Just hope that opportunity arises, and especially when it does present itself, if at all, can't afford to miss here.
We have just crossed the half-hour mark of this second half. Under 10 minutes to go now in regulation. The Cardinals have to get one in the next 9 minutes and 35 seconds. Here's Chappelle. Looking for Brooks, but won't find her. Comes back for Chappelle, who will draw a foul and win a free kick. Lizzie Fisher prepares to take this one. We've seen her big leg a couple times already. She will just send this one as far down as she possibly can. It will roll through a couple different players, and it'll fall to the feet of Barnhart. But then she will touch it last as it goes out, so a Louisburg throw. They'll make a couple changes. Riley Moore, Brindley, Evie come in. Clock doesn't stop on these substitutions, so that's just more time being eaten away, and that's certainly not unintentional by the Louisburg bench. Bouncing back and forth between the two teams. It'll now fall for Barnhart, who finds Bourne. Bourne tries to get past Moore, but couldn't find a way through. Kane. Barnhart sends that one far for Bourne to try and catch up to it, but it'll roll out of play. Cards have looked dangerous at periods in this second half, but haven't really had the finishing product. It's only kind of come in weird moments where players decided to take a first-time shot, and some of them were certainly close, but it hasn't really been anything that they actually manufactured or anything that they really fashioned out on purpose.
Yeah, I'd say it hasn't been a whole lot manufactured, as you said. It's certainly come in waves or come in bursts, but at this point, as time is dwindling away so quickly, they need a little more than bursts. They need something tangible, and they need it increasingly desperately.
Yeah, I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can really rely on the overwhelming tactic anymore. It's shown some positive signs for them, but I think at this point they need to just rely on some good passes. They need to get some numbers forward, try and find people in space, cross them the ball or pass them the ball, and take some shots. As much easier said than done. Some nice movement by Louisburg, but they will be have it taken away. Here's Brooks. Back for Fisher. Looking for Muting, but a little too far. And then in the middle of the park, sent to the floor, is Caden Moreno, but there will not be a foul call. 6 minutes, 20 seconds. All that's left in regulation. Miscontrol, but it will find a teammate. Riley May, who has a goal on the season. Cardinals take the throw in quickly. Bourne trying to find some space, but ends up being pushed out by Riley Moore. Time running out on the Cardinals here. They've worked 4 shots, 2 on target in this second half, but nothing all that, I don't know, nothing that really challenged Allison Brown extremely in goal.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, those 2 shots on goal were both fairly harmless ones. Again, as you said, nothing that really challenged Allison Brown too much. But at this point, the pressure needs to mount, and it needs to mount pretty quickly. The options are certainly thin.
It's a nice physical takeaway of the ball, and then finds some space and finds a teammate. Oh, no, just comes up short of Evie Steele. It's a great move by Brooks, but now it's created an opportunity for Faith Sewell to turn things around, but she's tackled by Pratt, who's battling against Janina Schmidt. Pratt quickly takes the throw. It gets past Bourne, but also past the defender. Steele gets a foot to it, but didn't really control it. Nice play by Brooks. Just too loose on offense for the Cards. A lack of intent, a lack of control. It's cost them a lot of possession in this game.
Just kind of all over the place. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot of synchronicity whatsoever here.
A ball in the area of Bourne will be put out for a throw-in, which will allow the Cardinals to get numbers forward with 4 minutes, 20 seconds left in the match. A throw looking for Steele, but taken away by Sewell. It'll be a Louisburg throw. And prior to that, we will see Kaylin Harris return to the match. Harris scored that goal seconds into the second half.
And we now sit just over 4 minutes to go, 4:09 left on the clock here. And Louisburg really starting to lock down control even harder than they already had it.
And that clock does pause when the team leading under 5 makes a sub. So it's stopped at 4:09 right now and now resumes. But, yeah, just not much time left for the Cards.
No, and what little momentum they did seem to have pretty thoroughly extinguished at this point. Louisburg has certainly put their foot to the floor a little bit more in these last couple of minutes. Really made life tough on the Cards to try to get anything rolling.
Fager looking for muting. It'll bounce around Moreno and actually find its way to Brooks. Just sort of sent forward. Kane brings it down. Fisher finds Barnhart. And this one, a slip here, is going to give Steele a chance. The Louisburg defender still down, but then a great tackle by Evie. That was a big chance there.
That was the best one of the last 10 minutes or so, I'd say.
Yeah, that's something here. You know, the Cardinals going with this overwhelm tactic, the high press, but once you get those chances, you then need to be pretty decisive and definitive with the ball. And they haven't really shown that at any point. Steele was hoping there was a teammate there waiting, but no one making that run for her. Just under 3 to go now. Muting doesn't control that one. But then Chappelle finds Steele. Steele looking for Brooks. The Cardinals really trying to funnel it to their wingers, but they're sort of just hoping. They're hitting and hoping that the wingers can catch up rather than actually making intentional and accurate or calculated passes to their wingers.
Kind of just hope somebody's down there.
Yeah, they know that Bourne and Brooks are, but they're not playing it into space for them. They're playing it and just hoping they can win a race. And now here's a race for Harris. It's going to be her busting down on goal. Fisher gets in the way. And now under control. That was all ball, so play continues. And a Cardinal clearance means it's a Louisburg throw. That was a big chance there that again goes amiss for the Wildcats. They have been pretty wasteful today, all told. But they've gotten those 2 goals in a flurry that sees them on top. And it'll go behind for a goal kick. So with a minute, or no, rather a corner kick. So some crucial time will tick off the clock here. Wildcats looking to win their 4th consecutive match. A corner on the ground, still not cleared. And another corner kick. More time will tick off the clock. 70 seconds left in the match. Now the final 60 seconds with the ball on the wrong side of the pitch, and it'll be another corner kick. Cardinals caught in between trying to defend here, but also having some numbers prepared to try and counterattack if the chance arises, which it may here. Brooks tries to come back for it. This is Yos who gets tackled and fouled, and that's going to be a crucial time loss. That may be the end of this match. It was a step in on Yos, and it did look like it was a foul. And that gives the ball in a dangerous spot for Faith Sewell, who takes it quickly, sends it near the goal, and Fager gathers. 16 seconds is all that's left. Fager looking for Brooks. Brooks chests it, but then has it taken away. Sent long by Fisher. Steele going to try and chase this one down. Steele gets a foot to it, but then is pushed to the ground, and no foul, says the official. The match will come to an end. The Cardinals did have a last-second opportunity for Steele, but they just could not come away here victorious. After they led through the first half of this game, the Wildcats with a quick flurry in the second will be enough to get the win here. 2-1 the final score. Louisburg win their 4th consecutive match here. And the Cardinals just could not kick it today against these Wildcats. 2-1 our final score. We'll go to a break. When we're back, it's the post-game show.
Just like the Cardinals are striving for success, Kaw Valley State Bank's mission is your success. At Kaw Valley State Bank, they provide the best, most efficient, courteous, and professional banking services possible. And at Kaw Valley, they recognize that the customer and their satisfaction is the most important ingredient to growing their community. With all the services you've come to expect from the hometown partner you deserve, Kaw Valley State Bank, online at kvsb.com, a proud supporter of Eudora Schools.
High-quality foods, friendly service, great prices, and a connection to the community that is unsurpassed. That's Jean's Heartland Foods in Eudora. Family-owned, Jean's Heartland Foods offers a convenient one-stop shop, delivering the everyday essentials you need to specialty items from around the world. Jean's friendly staff is here to help you find exactly what you're looking for. You have options when it comes to feeding your family. Choose to support local. Choose Jean's Heartland Foods, 1402 Church Street in Eudora, or online at heartlandfoodstores.com. The MVPs of BBQ. That's Barbed Wire Barbecue in Eudora. Family owned and operated, Barbed Wire Barbecue delivers great food and small town hospitality at a valued price. High quality hickory smoked meats, house seasonings, and time tested recipes put Barbed Wire Barbecue a cut above the rest. Kick off your weekend with their delicious brunch on Saturdays and Sundays and enjoy game day your way with Barbed Wire Game Day Packs. Visit them at 601 East 10th in Eudora or see their full lineup of flavors at barbedwirebarbecue.com.
Eudora Parks and Recreation is committed to creating community through parks, people, and programs. Their goal is to provide recreational opportunities for the community of Eudora that will enhance and promote a healthy lifestyle for all ages. The Eudora Parks and Recreation Department gives Eudora residents and others from surrounding communities the opportunity for family-oriented activities. Visit their website at eudoraparksandrec.org to view their youth and adult programs, leagues, memberships, facilities, activity guides, and more, and follow them on all social media at Eudora Parks and Rec.
Are you looking for a trusted partner in pet care? Look no further than Eudora Animal Hospital, proudly serving Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975. Eudora Animal Hospital offers a wide range of services, including wellness exams, surgeries, routine vaccinations, and emergency care.
I just want to thank everybody in the community for trusting us with the care of their animals, and go Dogs!
Schedule an appointment by calling 785-542-3265 or visit eudoravet.com.
All right, welcome in here, Eudora Animal Hospital post-game show. Eudora Animal Hospital has been serving pets in Eudora and the surrounding area since 1975 and are proud supporters of Eudora Cardinal Athletics. So a 2-1 final score here today for the Cardinals. A tough one to take after they led through the first half of the match, but we knew in that halftime show that it felt like it was undeserved, which doesn't mean that that they couldn't have held on to that. Many teams have won or lost games that they did not deserve, but the Cardinals just couldn't hold on to it. And I mean, it was 14 seconds into that second half that it was equalized, and then only a few minutes later that they lost the lead. And there were chances for the Cardinals after that. They had some nice runs of play. The Wildcats were pretty wasteful throughout the full match, especially in that second half, and were pretty passive, letting the Cardinals try and break them down. But the Cardinals just didn't really have much control today. So with the ball at their feet or with ideas, with intent, they just didn't seem like they were on the same page. And I don't know, it was hard to see a way in for them after they went down, and there ended up not being one. They had a couple opportunities, but just couldn't find a goal. What do you think of the way this game went, Hayden?
Man, the run of play they had mid-second half, I'm not sure exactly how long it was, 10 to 15 minutes at least, where they seemed like they were fairly capable. I mean, they were playing pretty well. They were definitely having their best offensive movement and coordination that they had throughout the entire match. It just seemed like, they needed just a little bit more to get into it, and that felt like the entire second half to me was always playing well, but never quite enough to set up anything significant or any good shots. They were able to take opportunities, but everything was from farther out than they would have liked or poorer angles than they would have liked. Just unbelievable how quickly Louisburg opened up that second half. And I think that was significant in more ways than just the goals they got. That also has to throw off everything that the Cards came out of that halftime break in, right? You got to think a lot of that break and a lot of that conversation was trying to preserve the lead they had given themselves and kind of run with what they had, play a little bit better on offense to help us play better defense and hopefully get out of here. 1-0 is what it was at the start of the second half, and almost immediately, truly immediately, Louisburg equalizes things. Now you're starting to think, okay, still not great, but we're tied up. Like, it's basically 0-0 again. Let's get back into it. Just a few minutes later, they put you down 2-1, and you could tell Louisburg felt pretty confident through that second half defensively, knowing we don't have to necessarily be suffocating. We can just play well enough on the back end and in the middle, and we're going to be okay here, and that's just really tough for the Cards to get out of, and I think it threw everything off, truly. When you get those two early goals, it throws off anything that they felt they might have built, kind of takes away everything Coach might have spoken to them about in the half, where now they kind of feel like they're on their own. Like, what are we supposed to do now? It's just really impressive from Louisburg to take a game that was looking like it could have been kind of a slippery, trap-like game for them and get right out of it and take control through the entire second half. That was a well-played game by Louisburg and a well-played but not quite well enough game for the Cards today, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a tough one. For the Cardinals, it's their first loss since April 7th. Oddly enough, their third loss at home. All three losses have come here at Eudora District Stadium, so they fall to 7-3-2. For the Wildcats, it's their fourth consecutive win. They move up to 8-2 on the year. Unofficial stats, I have Fager making 3 saves. The Cardinals with 6 shots, 3 on target. For Louisburg, let's see here, got them with 15 shots, 7 on target, and just the 1 save for Allison Brown. The goal, of course, came from Peyton Chappelle from the penalty spot, and then the 2 goals for the Wildcats. Harris in the 41st minute, assisted by Yos, and then Yos in the 44th minute, assisted by Edwards. So looking at what's next up for first the Wildcats, they play Baldwin on the 29th, and the Cardinals don't play for another week until they take on Spring Hill, who defeated them earlier on this season by, don't have that on here. Was it they played Spring Hill, or was it maybe, I thought they had already played Spring Hill on the year.
I thought they had.
Maybe Spring I had Hill. That. Oh, Spring Hill defeated Louisburg, my mistake.
Yep, Spring Hill sits at 6-4 currently on the year. Not sure after games they may have played tonight. That game is on May 1st.
So Spring Hill beat Louisburg. Cardinals just lost to Louisburg. Of course, games never played on paper, but tells you that it could be a pretty tough matchup for them. But yeah, I don't know, it was an interesting game for the Cardinals. I think there's a lot to learn. I think it's a great testament to them that they were able to lead through that first half, considering how much they were under attack. But they just needed to start that second half better, And yeah, there's just seemed a little bit disjointed on offense. I'm interested to know what's up with Jaden Brooks. Hopefully she's all right. Didn't get the start. Subbed into the match and seemed to be just fine, but interesting that after starting the first 11 matches of the season, scoring 8 goals, 2 assists, so don't really see any reason to drop her. Right. She was dropped from the starting 11, so it's now just Chappelle that is the Iron Woman of having started every single game thus far this season, and she got the goal today for her team. But yeah, I don't know. An interesting one, Hayden. A lot of things for the Cardinals, but just could not come away with the win. We've got one last broadcast on the spring regular season. That will be coming May 13th when we will do softball's senior night. So that will be a double-header game for softball on May the 13th. We will be there for that one, and hopefully we'll be able to get you postseason matches for all of the different spring sports for Eudora. But for the time being, that'll be it for the rest of this month. Thank you so much for tuning in here on this Thursday night for some Cardinals lady soccer. And for Hayden Harves and Reed McAvoy, go Cardinals, and good night.